All right, so this one is for all three kids. One question was, how is Echo doing in school? The other one was, will Chris and Diamond's feud tarnish his relationship with Lovely? And then the other one was just like in general, how is Chris and Royalty's connection? Okay. So let's start with the oldest and work our way down. How is Chris and Ro? I feel that overall with all his kids, let me just do it like this. Yeah. I feel like overall with all his kids, he is petrified within, or he will become. I feel like he feels out of control, which is why you're seeing the behavior that you're seeing. We have to remember, and I used to tell y'all this a lot psychologically with Chris, is that he enacts outwardly, like most men would, how they feel emotionally. They're going to be outside. They're going to be avoidant in any kind of way that is kind of destructive, or that may seem destructive. But for him, I think he's kind of still using like, I've been working hard. I just need time to relax and socialize. And that could be that's very true. I'm coming, I'm doing all this other stuff after touring and having these meetings and all that kind of stuff. But within that, there are certain ways that he's choosing to, make his money that can hinder his connection with his kids too. So certain balances have to come in that aspect. And so, yeah, so everything that we're seeing that he's doing, to me, it feels like he just feels like it's too out of control. Like he don't feel like no one is being sturdy enough, and it's making him feel like, a child again too. Like, it's hard to explain because there's so many layers to it. I put it in the description of his reading. If y'all want to read that prediction, in the description box, I'll be putting like descriptions of the reading, but I also make more predictions, overall predictions of the reading. So if you look at the Chris Brown Pimp by Blood in the description box, there is a prediction in that description box, and I'll be reminding y'all of that as well. Excuse me, guys, still sick. So the kids overall, what's happening here is he's seeing a lot of himself, especially in Ko and Ro. But it's, his insecure side when he was their age or even a bit older. And the reason why this is very important that I bring it up is because back in 2022, I used to say, if anything held him up from uniting with his twin, by the time Ro get about from 8 to 12, and by the time, Ko is, what is he, 4 or 5, whatever, that this is what was doomed to happen. Because the thing is, when he would have, and I'm not just saying it's like this is happening because he's not with his twin. No. Because there were other ways he could have worked on this, but the easiest path would have been to face the fear and unite it with her. And he would have been working on a lot of himself, and she would have, they would have been a unit together to work with the kids, in that way. But what ended up happening was his running made him create even, another one that he's going to have to go through the cycle again with in the next maybe, 3 to 4 years. So generally, what this feels like, excuse me, is that now you have, it's so many deep reflections that he don't even know what to ask the moms to do to even help himself to be a better father. And he's afraid to do that because he don't trust them like that, to open up like that, to admit anything like that, because he's afraid of what they may do with that sort of information. It's so many layers to it, guys, with the kids. But what I can say with the kids overall is that I feel very strong fear, because all of them are going through these transitions that are very important, that he wishes he had a like better hold on. I don't think that this is where he wanted to be in his life when they were reaching these sort of milestones in their growth. I feel like he wished that he was more settled, because he is seeing the damages that's coming from him not being. And one would say like, well, when he just stop and settle down. But when you don't have no safe place to stop at, to think clearly or do anything, you just stay in the chaos that you feel on the inside. And I just feel like, I think he thought that he would get them all under control, like in a way where they could help them, and they just be moms, and he could, be a father. But he's now realizing what he created, the women he had children with are, children themselves, in a sense of they weren't ready for kids, and neither was he. And so now the kids are reflecting all of those holes and, broken spaces within both parents. And now no one, like, everybody's blaming each other, or, everything is everybody's fault. Because I feel like with the moms, especially the last two, they thought that money would heal everything, or his fame would just make everything all right, and there'd be nannies, and he'd eventually happily in love with them, and they could lounge around, and they have a nanny, and then the kids would just be running around playing. Everything would be all lovely. But those weren't the pretenses of what these children were created under to begin with. Even if that was their dream, wish, or fantasy, it still wouldn't have made sense. How do you get from, dogging yourself out, tooting it up on tour buses and all that kind of stuff, to thinking that even you could live in a fantasy of where he just wake up one day and decide that with you, he's going to want to, because you have a kid with him, now turn into the father of the year and settle down, when he has the same issues that you have. He just have the means to support his and, have a more amplified good time, that because y'all both have that in common, you could join in on the party with. Who was woke? Who had sense when these children were created? Okay? All right. So with Ro, and let me see, I got 3 pals here, so we won't stay on this stuff long. All these wanted to come out. So with her connection with him, there's unconditional love here. There are some things she really want to say to him, but there's a certain setting and tone that she'd like. And I feel like for her, she feel like it's too much noise around him. It's too much going on. And it's so funny because they're still so cute, because I feel like Chris can sense this. And so his resolution to that is, picking her up and just, like taking her, like clearing out the house and then taking her to the house and trying to spend a day with her. No, that's not it. Roa's not going to fall for that. She's still not going to feel comfortable in that, because she knows what's going to happen after she leaves. She has an understanding that you cleared it out for me for today, but then Dad, you're going to, you're going to bring the stuff back in after I'm gone, right? And then Dad goes, well, yeah, but, we got our time together. And all this makes sense to him, because he's learning, and he'll never stop learning. But he'll learn a lot through her, like he always have. But the things he used to enjoy learning from her when she was younger was easier, because they were smaller lessons and cuter lessons, like, show me affection. Hey, Dad, I need my bottle. Hey, Dad, can you pick me up? All that stuff he felt confident in giving her, even though she still taught him how to be more softer and patient and stuff. He could work with that. But now she's opening her eyes in the way that a young lady, is going to start opening in her eyes. And that's where his growth was stunted as well. And so now is he scared, because he don't know what's going to come out of her mouth, because he knows it's going to be the truth, but he didn't know if he's ready to hear it. And then if he hears it, the thing is, he's willing to do whatever it takes to give her what it is that she wants, but he knows that she's not going to hurt his feelings and really tell him straight up what it is, although he would want her to. And because he don't want to pressure her about it, he just kind of lay off of it. And so he's tiptoeing around her feelings. She's tiptoeing around his. But I feel like when she do tell him stuff, she says it in a sweet way and stuff, like, and then he gets it. But then it's like, because it was soft and sweet, it's like, oh, I might still have time, or at least she don't hate me. He tells himself things like, I feel like they will always be cute. They are so cute, so precious. But eventually what he don't want to do is feel like he still have time, because the energy that she's giving him is soft. Because he still won't have to worry about her disrespecting him or lashing out at him. What's going to scare him more is when she isolates, ruminates, and never talk again. Or, well, she will eventually, but you know, when she goes through that phase, it's going to scare him even more, because at one point he could say, well, at least, you know, she was saying things that had me think, and she won't hurt my feelings, so I felt like I just still had time, or da 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 da, you know. And so let me see here, strength card with the Hangman and the Five of Wands. Yep, he's scared she's going to hurt his feelings. You know? You can, I'll leave it on those. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, he's scared she's going to hurt his feelings. He's scared that if they talk long enough that there will be outbursts. And so right now what I'm getting with them is there is still a very sweet connection, but the time is ticking when it comes to him being able to get her to be open and honest the way he always dreamed of them. The bond that they, you know, their bond is at risk for how it is that he wants, you know, the type of daughter that he wants her to be towards him, as far as, you know, him not being left out of the loop. He's also fearful of her asking about who he's in a relationship with, when he's going to settle down. And I feel like he's getting this the most from, here he is, his father in Roe. I don't feel like they're doing it yet, but he knows, intuitively, he knows this is what is going to come up. And his fear is to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do that. Because he don't want her to get scared that he doesn't know what he's doing. Nine of Pentacles with the Four of Wands. Or for him to admit, see, yep, she's ready for him to get it together and get a wife and stuff. Seven of Swords with the Nine of Cups. And the Knight of Wands. I feel like she never fell for this whole blended family thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, she craves to see one of her parents locked in with someone, because it's going to help her feel balanced. She's so advanced, she already knows what her soul needs for the next stages of her life. When like her little period and all that stuff starts, she wants, you know, she don't want perfection, because I feel like even if there was, you know, he was settled and not married and all that kind of stuff, this still would work. But she can tell that there's a lot of deflecting going on and reverting, and that he's even screaming out for healing too, and that she, you know, I feel like she feels that she knows she's connecting with 12-year-old, you know, Chris, or 14-year-old Chris, and it's kind of wild to her, but she do get it. And I don't feel like she'll ever, like, you know, disrespect him or anything like that. He'd be his own worst enemy when it comes to his connection with Ro. You know, she just would kind of withdraw and just mind her business or whatever. But he'll hate that she's not as expressive, or, you know, and all that good stuff. That'll bother him, because he's not going to want her to not express. But the thing is, she's closing in more and more and more, because of the type of stability that she knows her soul requires to deal with certain things that bother her. And to bounce around to this one and that one, that's not her party. That's not her type of vibe. She likes stability when it comes to what she expressed. And sure, each person could give her their own special type of stability, but she likes consistency in between the stability that she craves for her growing pains and things that she's finna be going through. All right, so that's them. Okay, Echo here. How's he doing in school? I feel that school is bringing out more of you know, the sillier side to him. I see him like making funny faces and stuff, and really enjoy doing that. I think it's making him softer, making him more like a lighter playful in a lighter way. I feel like him being back over here, you know, has balanced out the darkness. So yeah, school feels cool. I feel like there's a certain teacher that he has a crush on, or he likes, or he finds comfort in, to be honest with you, more than he does his own mom. I feel like he can read his mom's, like that, how she is, like when she's depressed and all that kind of stuff. I feel like he still remembers times in Germany when she was frustrated. I feel like over here, she pretends to be a soft parent and all this and that. And somebody did point out that Chris Chris was saying that, like, she sit down, please, and all that kind of stuff. That's just the front in front of him. And the reason why it just is kind of like not sitting with him too well, because he has seen her, how she can get. And it's like, okay, you like that with our son, but that feels like overcompensation. Like you're overly nice, you know? And for her, it's because she's trying hard to be wifey. She's trying hard to be less problematic. I feel like there has been times when they have had parenting disagreements because, you know, she'd want him to punish him when it would be beneficial to her. But I think this time around, I feel like she has had coaching, maybe from Joyce and them, like, look, just stop doing that. Like, I think they went over everything she was doing before. So when you come over here this time, this is what you need to do and all that. Like, it's very interesting. And that's just my opinion, maybe, but I could be channeling a little bit. But so this time it's like overly nice because she's not confident in her position. And so she's not trying to do anything to look bad, but she's still, even being overly nice is like sticking out to him. Like, now you're still making it difficult for me, right? Because now you're trying to seem like the better, like the good, but she always wanted to be that to Ko anyway, like the better parent. I can do this better because I was with him longer than you were, and blah, 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 blah. Just trying to punish him for not just like wifing her and choosing her. Not so much so as he couldn't help that the pandemic happened and all that kind of stuff. And that won't nothing but God protected him to get him to wake up. So yeah, with Ko here, 10 of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and the Hermit card. There's going to be a secret about him that they're going to try to like keep for a very long time, that it would benefit him more if they just open themselves up to it and open him up to it. Nine of Swords with the 8 of Cups. I feel like with him, there's always been like, you know, a disconnect with the type of son he always wanted. There's so much mystery with it. There's so much insecurity surrounding his connection with Ko. Excuse me. Everything feels like very, channeling, systematic. 10 of Pentacles, High Priestess, 10 of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, there's a lot of things he don't trust when it comes to fathering Ko. I think he just does the best that he can. I don't think he has any goals with fathering him. I think he want to accept things just for the way that they are. I feel like he almost really want to do over when it comes to having a son altogether. I feel like they didn't allow, like when it comes to boys, when fathers are being fathers to boys, it's different. It's a special type of dynamic that needs to happen. And if it does not, by the time they reach a certain age, it's it. And I think men intuitively understand that. If y'all could do with that as you will, you know, and I feel like he feels like that ship has sailed a long time ago when they wouldn't let him, channeling, discipline him like he wanted to. And in a lot of cases, there are women who aren't traditional or who aren't secure in themselves, who are against the way that fathers discipline their children. But traditional men discipline their children the way that they're supposed to. The woman is the nurturer. It's not the man's responsibility to be soft with their children. They are supposed to discipline their children. I didn't say abuse. I said discipline them. And then the women will try to want all control when they don't understand their place as a woman. When it comes to parenting, that, you know, they down the father, like, oh, you're being too rough. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. Now, there could be some immature things that, you know, he may do to and with Ko, and that's because he's been through it out the window to try to be a father to him, like a father. And on top of the fact that, again, these children was not created, he was not ready to be a father. That plays a very, very strong role in it as well. But in some cases, a person doesn't necessarily have to be ready to be one, and that child could change them. And I feel like he was hoping that Ko would, but he wasn't given the space to do that because Amika was too controlling at first, and she ruined that. So just like in Diamond's case, where Diamond kind of like blew herself out of the way when it comes to what she'll get and stuff, Amika ruined her chances of him taking pride in this in Cole being his only son. She wanted to be that way, and she wanted to be able to have that as her clapback. But she knows deep down that she messed that up by being selfish and wanting things to be about her at first. And because of that, and because he did let it be that way, it left Cole out. And now she wants them to have a connection that she got in the way of. 3 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords. Oh, okay, and now we're on to Lovely here. And the question was, will Diamond and Chris's feud tarnish Lovely and Chris's relationship? I see them dapping each other up. Low gives me tomboyish energy. Let me see. Tree climbing, 4-wheelers, all that kind of stuff. Thick sports, 3 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, King of Wands. Yeah, they look cool. Let me see. Judgment card. Yeah. Page of Swords. No, they'll be fine. I always told y'all this too. I feel like, she might be popping her shit now, but I even feel like once Diamond get in a relationship and all that kind of stuff, she'll be okay. But I feel like one thing that's going to always be soft in Diamond's heart is seeing their father-daughter relationship. And it's like I'm kind of like cracking up, like in a way, like tearing up. Because like that's one thing that she can't take away from him, that she loves to see with him and her, because it's something that she wishes for herself, or maybe there's something triggering when it comes to her, her being a daughter to a father, in whatever way that could be. So I'm not seeing any bad cards here. I see an arrangement. I do still see though that there may be a person though that may have to bring her to him. Like she may stop bringing herself and stuff like that. Let me see. Yep. 3 of Wands. Like the communication between him and Diamond just will be different, but it won't impact his relationship with Lo at all. Actually, at Lo's age, if he settles down by the time that she is about 4 or 5, he could really turn a lot around from what he learned from parenting or attempting to parent Cole and Ro. So yeah, no, I don't really see like she loved her daddy. Like she, to me, she don't choose either. You know what I'm saying? She's fair. To me, it feels like she's fair to both. Like she's inquisitive, I feel like, or she's going to get that way. And remember, I told y'all, she asked the tough questions. I feel like a lot of questions she may have started asking already. And that could be a lot of why Diamond moved the way she do too. Because I remember getting this in November that she'd ask her, questions that hurt her feelings. But it's questions that make Diamond get her shit together. Like, because I think Lo would ask questions that compare homes or that compare the lifestyles, and not in like a stuck-up way. She just, sincerely want to understand, like, and then maybe going to school. I think now they do include blended families when they teach and talk about parenting, mommy, daddy, this and that. They include if you're raised by your granny and all that kind of stuff. But I just think like Lo's questions be innocent and they really bother Diamond. And that could have been something that really set a lot of this off, honestly. I feel like a lot of what's going on with Diamond and Chris's beef has a lot to do with Diamond's own inner truth, her guilt, her regrets, her shame, her embarrassment, and the type of woman she really wishes that she could be for her daughter. And it's like she don't want Chris being able to take all that credit to be the only parent, So it could be certain things that Lo do say that just had her thinking, really. And then maybe she took it out on him. I mean, that's one dynamic. Now, I ain't saying Chris is 100% innocent either, but what I will say is these women knew the man that they were having babies by. And them having a baby by him was not going to make him just pop up like a Pop-Tart out of a toaster and say, okay, for you, I'm going to get it right. Because that is their whole motive. They don't want him to get it right for the kids. They want him to get it right for them so they can look good. Because they don't want to work on themselves. That's a problem, right? So final messages for all the kids. So him and Lo looks good. And it's nothing real heavy to worry about with her because she's still young. And because she's not even impacted by one way or the other. She loves them both dearly. I think just the problem is on Diamond's side is that she Lo has the ability to measure. She fully understands difference at her age, and I think that's what's getting to Diamond. Like, she could be asking her, where your man at? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, but not in a smart way. Like, and I feel like, yeah, she loved them both to death. For sure. Like, I don't feel like she chooses either. And I think Diamond will appreciate that in the long run. Not too far off long. And I do feel like she won't drag it on long to just like keep them away from each other, because one thing that she love and will always love about them is their bond. And she also loved Ro and Lo's sisterly connection as well. Now, as far as cooperating with Amika for Co, I don't think she'll be an asshole, but if she don't have to deal with Chris, she's not gonna worry about any of that. But because I feel like the bond that Ro and Lo formed, like, Ro could call anytime and she will come through. If she have to bring Lo to Ro, I feel like she will come through to do that. Like, that's one thing I can't say about Diamond. She has a soft spot for Chris and Chris and Lovely's connection, and she has a soft spot for Ro and Lo's connection. And she won't keep her away from those two for the most part. But all the rest, she ain't gonna really, because she felt like, all that is just too difficult, and she don't see no point or purpose in that. Like, so, and I always told y'all, her and Nia are gonna be mostly alike with how things turned out for them when dealing with Chris and being his baby moms and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like, it's going to get to the point where, like I said, with Nia, she just got to worry about her daughter and her daughter's bond with her father, and she got to take herself out of the equation and understand that that's her daughter's relationship with her father that didn't make her entitled to her father, Lo's father, life, or what Lo's father get. And that's the lesson for her. And I feel like, she'll get it. Queen of Wands, most times she's supposed to, then she take a sudden turn. But the path she's on now, if she be strong enough, she's back on the right path where, there's love for her, marriage, travel, all of that, and her lifespan has extended again. But her being rebellious, trying to stick around in this Chris stuff and all that, she had a short lifespan as well, a very dangerous life. Queen of Wands with the Three of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. These are the baby moms coming out. Yep, and the Devil card. I think it's just showing the current situation he's dealing with Diamond. Devil card, Ace of Wands, because that Three of Cups could be the courtroom as well. That's a community card. Nine of Wands. But look, 10 of Cups though, and there's the third baby mom, Queen of Cups. So all three are out here, or either that's somebody's mama right there. Yeah, I think Diamond's gonna soften up though, because it's gonna be fair. Like, so I feel like if they go the negotiation route, they, get, a person like Chris could get a fair lawyer to draw up papers where the lawyer's fair to both, and it's not you against me, but let's make this work for the child, and let's just accept that we do need papers, because everybody need to get on with their lives. And it's not about playing these games on it, because now this child is going to reach an age where they could get impacted like the first two. Why do that when there's time to do it, take care of it now? So that's what this looks like. But maybe this Queen of Wands is her mom, and then Diamond is this Queen of Pentacles, and then she turns into this Queen of Cups at the end. Yeah, she's going to get a soft spot, it feels. And that's the overall message. He didn't lie. That is the only issue he has right now with his family structure in the BMs. But there you guys have it. Those are all the freaking questions. Hope y'all enjoy it. Hope I was able to make up for all the times that I've been gone. I plan to get more consistent. That's my goal this year. And so let's see how this goes. But I think it's also about learning that I absorb energy that I need to be careful about too, because of the way that I channel. So I'm accepting that part of myself too. And I'm just trying to figure out how to teach that to y'all, like get y'all to see that too. But I can't do that until I learn it myself. So, but all right, guys, I will see you later.